This is a complete solution for product sourcing in your browser, and it's called a Google Lens product sourcer. And it actually includes this Google Sheet template as well as a Chrome extension that is going to actually use Google Lens to search product images that you can get, for instance, from a site like Amazon or really from any website. And it then finds matching products and has the formulas inside the sheet to calculate the profit of these different products. And I can go into more detail with that later. But first of all, I just wanted you to get an idea of what the results will look like once it does those searches and it brings that data into the Google Sheet. This is what you would see. These are your original products that you provided, this product data, the original products. This is an image of the original products, which comes from the image URL. And then these are all the, these are also results as well. Over here, result URL, result price. So really you're providing this data, these columns, and I'll show you that. It's on another sheet. And then you're getting these results. All right. And that data is used to then calculate the profit. So what I'm going to do in this video is do the whole process from scratch. So first of all, when you get a copy of this Google Sheet and you get a copy of the Chrome extension, the first thing is that you must use this template. You will have to use this template. So when you first download the template from me, what you'll do is you'll go to File, and then you'll go to Make a Copy, and you'll create your own copy. Now, when you create your own copy, it'll be blank like this copy. So there will be headings, and you should not change these. These work specifically with the Chrome extension. So the Chrome extension needs these headers up top. So you have to leave those headers. You cannot change them. Same thing. Well, same here. Yeah, you need to keep everything how it is because, of course, these are calculated based on where things are, right? Expects the price to be here, so on and so forth. Okay, the result price. Now, you will notice this message. Now, this warning, some formulas are trying to send and receive data from external parties. It is referring only to the image URL. Because I have an equal image, I'll show you an equal image formula of the URL so that you can get a preview of what the picture looks like. But if the images are from Amazon, technically it's grabbing the image and showing it to you inside the Google Sheet. This is a very normal thing to do. It's nothing unusual. And so that's why it's saying, well, allow access, right? But all you're really doing is just pulling the image that's already in here, and it's just, pulling that image so you can see a preview in your Google Sheet. Okay, so you just click allow on that. That's a little warning that will pop up on there. Okay, now, the first thing, once you actually have the Google Sheet, you've made your own copy, is that you also have to download the Chrome extension file from me. And you'll get all that stuff from the same page. They'll come together, both the Chrome extension file and the Google Sheet. And that should be in your downloads. Now, I have a video explaining already, that already explains how to do that part of the process. And when you extract the zip file, you're going to download a zip, and when you extract it, you'll have a Google Lens product sourcer folder just like this. Okay, so I don't have the download, so you'll just right click and extract, and you just extract it, right? And you'll have the folder. So once you have that, all you have to do is then go to here on your browser, click on this or whatever it is on your browser to go to extensions. You can also do the 3 dots and go to manage extensions, or I'll just do this. And once you go to manage extensions, you're just going to go load unpacked, and should be in my downloads, Google Lens product sourcer extension 2.0 draft. Select that folder, and then here's the you'll see it pop in here, Google Lens product sourcer. Okay, this is what you call an unpacked Chrome extension, meaning it's a file you have to upload. You're not downloading it from the internet. All right, and now you've got that. So basically, we've got the Chrome extension. So now I'll click here and pin it. All right. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll close this preview of the products that we had. In fact, no, I'll just leave it. I'll just leave that for now. So this is the Google Sheet, and I'll just move this back that we're actually working on right now. And I need the product IDs, titles, URLs, prices, and image URLs. And so let me zoom this in a little so you can see those headers a bit better. So the import CSV sheet is a good place to put the CSV for that. So what I'll do is I'll go to Amazon and I'll just search for something on Amazon. So for instance, let's say I search for a, I can really search for anything pretty much. I was looking at, let's see. Okay, I'll just do, I was trying to do shoes. Somehow the S didn't come out. Okay, shoes, or, yeah, I'll do shoes. Okay, so I'll do shoes. Okay, just random shoes, hopefully will just come up if I just type in shoes. I'm hoping to get a mixture of shoes, you know, like men and women shoes. I wanted to get a mixture of different styles, right? Just kind of spread it out because I just want to do a general process here, right? So you can get a general idea. So now the thing is, how do I get this stuff off? How do I get the product titles, image URLs, and all of that? So for that, you can use a free Chrome extension called Instant Data Scraper. You click on it, and once you do that, here you go. This is a Chrome extension that pretty much, by the way, it's not just for Amazon, it's for any website. You can use it on any website. So any website you decide to do this with will work out. And from there, you'll just click CSV and you'll get your CSV file. Now, once you have your CSV file, download it. It'll be in your downloads folder. And I'll go over, back to the Google sheet that we're working with right now, the import CSV tab, file import, right? File and import, file, upload, and then browse. All right, Amazon 29, and then open up. Okay. And then I'll do replace current sheet and import data. Okay, so now we have the data. Now, of course, I get that this is disorganized data. Now, in other systems I've made, which you might even be familiar with, possibly, I usually have some kind of mapping process that copies these things out and puts them in place. But you really can just copy and paste this stuff. So the product ID is really, of course, it depends on the site. Of course, in the case of Amazon, the product ID is basically the ASIN, but you don't actually have to have the product ID is really for the database. It's so that, in fact, it's better to use numbers like 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth, just so that you can refer to your products visually more easily. Okay, so you can type in 1, 2, and 3, and you can copy that down, and it will automatically give you more numbers. And if you don't want to manually copy that down, you can copy 2 numbers at least, and then you can click here, go all the way down and click paste. Actually, I'll provide this ahead of time. And you could even use double click and it would fill into the bottom once we get the other data. But I'll provide some numbers there. For the product titles, we have to actually look for this stuff. So here are the product titles. Just, copy them down like that from the top to bottom. Go over to products and just paste them. So those are your product titles. And then you have product URL. You're going to go back to import CSV. Find the product URLs. So these are the product URLs. A-link normal. And these are the image URLs where you can see media, Amazon images, and all of that. So I'll take the product URLs, and in case you don't know how to do this, if you click the first cell, then Control-Shift down on your keyboard, Control-Shift and down is an easy way to highlight the whole thing. Copy it, come over to products, and then paste it. And those are your product URLs. Okay, you don't have to do this in order. If you want to skip over to the image URLs, since they are right next to the product URLs, just click the first image URL, Control-Shift down, right-click copy, go over to products, and we're going to paste the product image URLs. Then you have the prices of the products, right? So the prices are wherever they are over here. Now, why the prices? Well, of course, we need to compute the profit. So now one thing, when you scrape Amazon, sometimes you get a product that's not actually a product. That's fine. It'll just be, you know, an extra row in your sheet that perhaps will just be there. So don't worry about that. Just go ahead and paste whatever you have, which most of these have prices, because most of these are actual product links that were scraped off the page. There might be a few of something else that got mixed in there or whatever. Right? And by the way, I didn't demonstrate it here, but you can, Instant Data Scraper can scrape more pages. I probably should show you that. That you could have done locate next button. I should demonstrate that in case you need to do it. And then click next. Then you go back to Instant Data Scraper and you do start crawling. And let's minimize this. And it will actually continue to scrape more pages instead of just one page. So now you see 2 pages, scrape 3. So when you download, when this is done, you'll get a much larger CSV with more products. So just to let you know, that is something you can do. And of course, there are other ways you could get this product data. You might already have a CSV from, you know, of some kind, or have some other way of getting a CSV, or yeah. So, okay. So basically, at this point, we have product titles, we have URLs, we have prices, and we have image URLs. And, you know, that's really it. All right. We need prices to compute profit, and we need the image URLs because this is the meat of how this works. Google Lens searches. Okay, Google Lens searches. So now the result sheet is pretty much just ready and waiting. You don't have to do anything here on the result sheet. It's just ready for you to use. So now the next thing is the Chrome extension, which is going to actually search the products. And the first thing we need to do is to share this Google Sheet. And where it says restricted, change it to anyone with the link. And where it says viewer, change it to editor. And click done. And the reason is that the Chrome extension needs to be able to access the file. It needs to be able to read the Google Sheet and write to the Google Sheet. And anyone with the link can edit, but as it says, with the link. So just don't, if you're just, just don't give the link to anyone and they won't be able to edit it, right? So that's pretty much how it works, okay? Remember that your URL is unique and only you know this URL of your Google Sheet, okay? So what you're going to do is actually end up copying that URL. But first, let's go over to the Chrome extension and open it. And don't mind this, the name and the logo is just not coming up. Sometimes it does come up, but right now it isn't. But this is the actual workflow that you're going to run. It is possible in the future that there could be more workflows, like if I create other automations, you know, that are related to this, that they, you know, I could send you new updated files and you'd have more. Right now, there's just this one, and you can just open that, play it, really, I should say. And sometimes you may have to do it a second time, so go to it a second time and play it, and you'll see input parameters. Now, all you have to do, first of all, is put the spreadsheet URL. So go over here. Up here is the spreadsheet URL. You just copy that URL. highlight it, bring it here, and paste it in here. Okay, so once you put that URL, it knows what to do with it. Make sure that the sheet is shared as anyone with the link can edit. We already did that. Start row is 2. So it starts searching products at this row of the product sheet. So by default, row 2. That's where you are starting by default. How about the output row? The output is where on the result sheet are you going to start printing by default? Row 2. Right? So that's how that goes. Then we have max results. So usually you won't have to change these unless you were to start the process, stop it, and continue with the same sheet. And you wanted to continue, and then tell it to start at a different point and tell it to start printing at a different point. So otherwise, those are usually, if you just run it from beginning to end, it'll just start at row 2. The maximum number of results is the number of results it will copy from each search. So when it searches for a product on Google Lens, this is the number of product results, the most it will grab. Let it grab a large number because some of them are not going to be good. Some results will be good and some will not be, right? Some will have prices, some will not. So it's better to grab a larger number. If you want more, you can take more. If you want to take less, you can take less. I think 10 is a good number. 10, now the output interval, this is how often it's going to output to your Google Sheet and measured in the number of products searches. So the reason for this is that Google Sheets API has a rate limit, and Google Sheets API is free, but it has a rate limit. So it's free and it's built into, any app that directly accesses your Google Sheet, and there are a lot of apps that do this. They're all using the Google Sheets API because it's free. Everyone uses it, but it has a rate limit. So we cannot constantly send output to the Google Sheet. So we will wait for 10 products, and then the Google Sheet will receive the 10 products worth of output, another 10 products, and then you'll get 10. But let's say you're only doing 5 products. You can't wait for 10. So if you're only going to do 5 products, you'll need to change this to 5, for instance. Okay, but if you're doing 10 or more, you don't even need to change this. If you're doing 10 or more products, there's no need to change this output interval. Now, export CSV, when this is checked, it will also export your results to a CSV. Remember, but keep in mind, every time it exports, every 10 products is going to export a new CSV that is going to be bigger and bigger with more and more products in it. But this is an option if you want to have a backup file of an actual CSV file on your computer. So you can decide whether or not that's something you want. I'm going to turn it on for this demo just so that, you can see that it's there, what it does. Okay, so now I'm going to click on Run. And of course, when you do this in reality, it'll be much faster because you won't be explaining all of the stuff as I'm explaining to you right now. So the great thing is that this will run quietly, meaning you can continue to work, right? And it is running right now. But what I'll do is I'll click on it. Here it is in the corner because I want you to see what it's doing. So we missed the first image upload, but we'll see the next one. Okay, it now went to exact matches. Okay, this is back on the Chrome extensions page. Okay, it came back. So let me go back here. And let me actually close that extensions part. Okay, there we have it. Add to your search. Okay. And you see that word exact matches. Right? So you can do this manually, but how are you going to get the prices, right? And the URLs and everything pulled together quickly into a spreadsheet, right? You'd have to manually copy and paste every single one of these results. That would it's a lot. So with this automation, it's going to do that for you. It's searching each and every one of these image URLs. This is the most exact, these are the most exact matches you can get on Google by using image URLs, lens searches. These are the best matches I've been able to get versus any other things I created in the past, like my Amazon matcher sheet or, eBay, sourcing sheets, where all those different automated Google Sheets I made, these are the best matches you could get. You see it uploads, they just uploaded the image with Google Lens. These are, in fact, the best matches you're going to get. It's just that doing them manually is a problem because of the time it takes to sit there and do it, and physical work, and to actually copy and paste your prices and all that. Notice some products don't in the results. Well, it goes off very fast because it's moving from one product to the next. So uploads, you see that upload just happened. It searches. This comes up. You see that again. It navigates over to exact matches. And you see that it grabs that stuff. You'll see that some of these don't have prices. So those results won't really be good, but the ones with prices will be good. So you'll have, and the good ones will calculate a profit because they'll have prices. And the quote unquote bad ones won't calculate a profit, but it doesn't matter, right? There's no problem there. So let's take a look at the results that I already had from before. And now that you know that's running over there, we don't need to watch it run. And you'll see that the results of the one we're running will print to the Google Sheet. But let's look at the one I did before, or one I was working on before. And you'll see that some of these results have prices, and then some did not have prices. They had other words like in stock, or 240 by 220, right? Which is like, I believe, the pixels. Looks like these might be the pixels for the images or something, right? So those do get pulled in, but we just ignore them, right? And when you scroll over, okay, these are the result prices, but we also have the unit, shipping, and tax, which you can change per product. Okay, but these are defaults: unit, shipping, and percent tax, which you can change. And applies that percent tax. It then calculates a subtotal. It calculates a tax. It calculates total cost and cost per unit based on the number of units that you entered here. For many people, this will just be one, and cost for many people, the total cost and the cost per unit and the cost per sale, which is on the marketplace, will be the same, and there's no reason to think about them. Okay, but for situations where you're doing multi-packs, that is why I have these columns in here. Because if you're doing a multi-pack, for instance, you might be buying 10 units, right? If you're interested in, or maybe, that's just the way you are doing business. Maybe you're buying 10 units. The cost per unit is still $132. And then perhaps you're selling a multi-pack because, you might be doing it on a market where you get to choose, like eBay, where you get to choose, and perhaps you're selling the pack of 2. Well, if you're selling the pack of 2, then the cost every time you sell it, which is the cost per sale, is going to be twice the cost of what you paid for 1 unit. So here we have the download, by the way, which we'll take a look at. Here's a CSV that just got downloaded. All right. Of course, it looks crazy until you import it. The CSV will look very jumbled until you actually import it. You're seeing, those URLs that have like those click things, added to them. And so, but I'll just finish explaining this quickly. So you have the units for sale, you have the cost per sale, right, which comes from the number of units. And then we apply the market fees, and all that are really being applied to the original price, the price of the product on Amazon. So if you're selling it for this price, right, that would give you whatever price you're selling it for, applies the fees, and then you have the payout, right? But again, normally this is just one. I don't want to make it confusing. This is normally just one and one, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. And it calculates payout, profit, and ROI off of payout by subtracting the fees, profit, and ROI. Perhaps I might add a total fees column so you can see the fees total from these 2 fees first. Perhaps I might do that. Let's take a look at results on this Google Lens sheet on the results tab. Remember, this was blank before, this file, and now it has results. So I'm going to see similar results because I did actually do the same search that I did before. So we'll see some similar results, but in a different order. So as you can see, these are your original images that you brought over from Amazon. And these are result URLs and potentially prices, which some come out and some don't. And what I'm going to do is zoom this out so you can get the overall big picture. And you can, if you don't know how to do that with the keyboard, it's Control, minus, and plus. You can also use View, Zoom, and then choose, in fact, let's zoom that back up. You can use View, Zoom, and you can use, say, 90%. If that wasn't small enough, perhaps let's do 75. Okay, so you'll see that some of these are just, this come out this way. It's just an arrow. So they just come out with a dash. Okay, those are basically going to be useless for you. And then you have these. The ones that have prices will either be pink or green. So these are negative profits, negative ROIs. Those are obviously not what we want. And many products will have negative. Remember that most products, when you compare them to potential sources out there on the internet, most of the time they're not profitable. Most of the time when you're dealing with public, available stores. But then you have a few situations that are profitable, right? Potentially. But be careful. In this case, these are both Amazon. Sometimes that does happen, where these are both Amazon. I mean, you can still look at that to see what it's about, but those are both Amazon URLs. But if I scroll down and, ideally you want it to run and complete the process, but if you're starting to get results, why not? If you have nothing else to do, I should say, why not start looking? Okay, so here goes a green result, $5.35, estimated profit, and these are estimated based on what you've entered here. Okay, and this is the ROI. So if your fee is 15% and you're paying a 40 cents, like on eBay, you have a transaction fee. If you don't have one, you put a 0 here. Or like on Amazon, you have an FBA fee. You can put that FBA fee over here. All right. Cost per sale is $4.99. But let's look at the products. Here's the original product on Amazon. Let's take a look at that. We have the image, yes. But let's see the actual listing. This is New Balance, $64.99 over here on Amazon. This is a very familiar, basic, classic New Balance sneaker. And then here is a source that Google Lens picked up where it claims that the price is $44.99. Google Lens is great at prices. Their prices are correct. And it's saying 2 installments of $22.50. So if you add it together, that is $45, right? 22 and 22 is 44, right? And we have 50 cents a piece. That's $45. So yes, it is 44, it's around what it says here, $44.99, okay? Taxes computed for you again here, 10%, you can always change that. Cost per unit, all of that, and that's what the profit comes out to with the 10.82% ROI. But you do see, in fact, this is the same product. We see that 2 installments of $22.50, and we see that it in fact goes for $65 on Amazon. Of course, with shoes, you then have to do things like variations. If we're going further with the process, we need to look at sizes. The sizes are all the same price there. And then, of course, we want to check and see if we have that here on Amazon. And if the price is the same for a 10, it's the same, $64.99. So, if you're doing FBA, of course, you have to put the FBA fee on here, which could probably just obliterate the profit. If you pay shipping as well, that would obliterate the profit, right? So, of course, we have to consider these different things as we go through. This is a really small number of products so far. So, I wouldn't expect a bunch of great results yet, just from what has come out so far. It is still running, as you can see. This is the one that is running now. Okay. So, with time, it will keep pulling more and more results. And you will be able to see potentially profitable products. Obviously, the more you do, the more possibilities you get. The more products you do, the more possibilities you get. Also, you've got to do product research if you want to get better results. This is, I've been making the distinction lately between product research and product sourcing. This is product sourcing. You may want to do research first. Research brands. I talk about brands research a lot. Find brands that people are looking for that maybe, not a lot of other people are selling. Low supply brands, high demand, low supply, that type of thing. Search those brands on Amazon. Do that product research part first. Then bring those products to the sourcer to do the sourcing, because this does not do the job of trying to figure out for you, what's a good market to be in. This simply takes whatever products you give it, finds matching products, right? Brings that data back to Google Sheets, and the formulas calculate the profit for you, right? That is all it does. It just sources products. It's just a sourcer, but you may need to do research. You should do research ahead of time so that the things that you are sourcing are more likely to have profitable results, okay? That is pretty much the logic to product research and sourcing, okay? So that is really it. I mean, it takes time for it to keep searching these products. And again, I love the fact that it's quiet. A lot of other automations I made before required the browser to run and they take over the browser. This is not one of those. This is quiet. It runs completely, quietly in one tab. It closes and reopens itself and keeps doing its work over here in this tab. And so, that's basically it. All right, so that's the process. If you want to go ahead and get a copy of this template, you can do that. You can get a copy of the template and the Chrome extension. You can download those from me. Okay, there's a link I have to Gumroad. You go onto Gumroad. It's a simple process. You download it, and when you do that, you're basically normally if you're doing it through Gumroad, you are basically subscribing. You're receiving it, and then you're also potentially receiving updates or other information that is related. This keeps you updated with tutorials and things like that, which are on YouTube. So I usually would just direct you to those videos. Like, here's a video for this, here's a video for that. Things that are useful to you. I'll send you those things, right? And that's pretty much how it works. So, yeah, that's it. This is the Google Lens product sourcer. This is the new way that I'm sourcing products as far as automated automation that is free of the cost of sourcing software, where it is not, maybe not to the extent that the sourcing software is, but still can get you results and find profitable products without the costs. So that's basically the concept of this and the purpose of this type of tool. So that is it. The only other thing I can say is go to the description of the video, read the description, download this. You can contact me as well. If you have comments, questions, suggestions, you can leave them below. And that is pretty much it. I think that's all I have to do here that I can really think of. The only other things, if you want to look at the results CSV, we can always add a sheet if for some reason. Well, one thing I can quickly discuss is if you want to continue running from a certain point, like let's say you stopped it or it stops and you're at product ID 10, well, you can go over to products, right? And you need to run it from product ID number 11, which is row 12. So when you go back to this the Chrome extension again, you're going to start from row 12, right? I'm not really going to demo it. I'm just going to kind of point it out to you that you would start on row 12, right? And then for the output row, you need to look at your result sheet and see where you left off, which is 101, but you need to start here at 102. And so you're going to tell it to output starting from row 102 because it doesn't know where to start printing. You have to tell it. So output row will be 102. So you'll start reading from row 12 on the products, start output into row 102 on results. These are just whatever they are, and then you'll just run it, okay? And I'm just going to cancel that. And that's how you continue running it, picking up from another point. So that's about it. That's all there is to this. I'm Mr. Mark. I hope that you find this useful in your product sourcing. And that's it. Download it, and I look forward to hearing from you or seeing you around in another video.